Well, Giles, thanks for coming on the OP show.
Thanks.
It's
Glad
a
to be
pleasure to
here.
have you, man. It's cool to be out here in New York.
Yeah, we're doing it from New York.
With the crew. A little bit better than Minnesota. I went out and visited some of the sales team in Minnesota from ParcelLab.
Oh, they're good guys, good people.
I think this beats it, though.
Yeah, New York's nice. We're down in Wall Street, the financial district.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good time. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah.
So just like every OP show, we start it with Out of the Box, segment number 1. 3 segments. The last 2 are even a surprise to me. And we typically will shift up the last 2 segments. So like today we had several segments we've never done before.
Okay.
So we're all in for a surprise.
Who invents the segments?
Actually a gal on my team, Rebecca.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's the creative juices, I'm just the face.
I want to do this interview with her.
She's doing actually an MBA, so she just left order protection.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Where?
she's doing a BYU.
Nice.
BYU MBA, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man. Okay, so how did you get into your career? Tell us about the journey a little bit.
Oh man,
You've got a good track record, so.
Well, I have a track record. I wouldn't say I picked it.
Yeah, how did you fall into it?
I think this actually happens a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry to say, but enterprise software is not the thing that, at 8-year-olds, when you ask, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're like, astronaut, fireman, maybe in the military, pilot or something. No one says, I want to work in enterprise software. Cool, you really like B2B software?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
No one says that.
This isn't the dream.
Nope.
No.
Although, so I realized this today. Like literally, I realized this today because we're talking to a bunch of customers, and so I was in the military, as you know, and I realized when I was in the Air Force that I love the Air Force, patriotic, love the country, but I wanted to do something that was a little faster pace and also that I felt like had more immediate impact. I was a physicist in the Air Force, and literally the projects I was working on took like 20 years to kind of figure out if they were successful or not.
Yeah.
I was doing satellites and space research.
Yeah.
And even then...
so was that the dream initially? Was like
that was my dream, yeah. My childhood heroes were all scientists. I wanted to go to MIT because Richard Feynman went to MIT. And then when I got the application pack and I saw how expensive MIT was, I was like, well...
But you got in.
Yeah, but it was expensive.
Yeah.
And I was a fiercely independent child.
Yeah.
We'll see how much of this makes the final cut. But like,
this all stays in.
Even as a child, I would not accept any money from my parents.
Yeah. Good for
you. I would work jobs, and I was like, I just don't want to be...
What did your parents do growing up?
My father was an attorney, and my mom... She worked a few jobs when we were growing up and young, but then kind of in teenage years and stuff, she would keep the house and deal with us.
Yeah,
so
that's a job.
She was around.
That's tough.
Yep. It's funny. She's gone back to work now, which is a fun experience. I think she got bored later in life.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go to study physics, and part of the reason I went to the Air Force Academy was I thought to myself, well, A, maybe I'll get to study some really cool stuff and work on some cool stuff, and B, I'm guaranteed a job, right? And I really thought, I grew up in a small town in South Carolina. My thinking at the time was, who would hire someone with a bachelor's in physics, right? And because that's how little I knew about the job world. You can actually, if you have a bachelor's in physics from MIT, you actually get a lot of job offers.
Really? There you go.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to spend all this money, I'm going to be in debt, and who would even hire me? So I went to the Air Force Academy instead, which was a great decision for me for a lot of reasons. Went into the Air Force and sort of realized, this isn't exactly what I want to do. Like being a research physicist is a lot of time in a lab by yourself, working on projects that have really long timelines. So I decided to get out, and I thought, the place to go is business, right? But I didn't know anything about business. And so I went into consulting. And when I went into consulting, this is the thing I remembered today. The first thing I thought about, I guess Mad Men, it hadn't come out yet, but there must have been drips of Mad Men, or it was in the ether. I think I didn't know anything about business, and so I was like, well, of course I'm going to do like consumer and marketing and stuff like that. And so my very first project at McKinsey was a consumer project, and I realized this is so boring. This is, one, I'm not good at this. I knew nothing, and two, I was so bored. Yeah. So I actually went into to do much more tech and highly quant heavy studies, but circle back to now where I am, where I'm actually spending a lot of time with brands and with customers and thinking about customer experience, which is where my sort of tech career led after McKinsey, down that customer experience path. And the way I got to ParcelLab was I had previously been on the leadership team of a company called Forsta, very similar to Medallia, where I was earlier. And they spend a lot of time helping brands improve customer experience. But when I looked at the ParcelLab technology, and Toby and I had gotten introduced, and I looked at what you could do with this platform, I was like, wow, this is like
slick.
Order of magnitude more impactful. What we're actually able to help brands do in an experience in real time where we actually know the customer. It's not like we're some third-party system. We are in the moment. We are in the arena with that brand, working to make that customer's life and journey better. And so that was what was super attractive.
And how did that kind of come about? So who made the introduction for you to meet Toby, and how did that kind of
it was
transpire?
It was a gentleman who knew me and knew some of the work that I had done at Forsten in the past, and who had known Toby. And I was actually chatting with him about something totally different, and he kind of just put the pieces together. Yeah. And he said, you need to meet this guy, Toby. And so we started chatting and got along great.
Fantastic.
I saw the vision here, and he and I collaborated on it, and we talk pretty much every day still about the vision. Yeah. It's great.
And what are some of those things that you guys talk about in terms of like, what's the vision of ParcelLab into the next couple of years, as much as you can share?
Well, I think about this and I share it a lot, so I'll share the slimmed down version. Again, enterprise SaaS, sometimes not the most sexy thing. Why is that? Well, oftentimes it's because, think about like an expense and reporting system. Expense reporting may be some of the least sexy enterprise SaaS. It solves a very specific problem. We're able to, and I think a lot of the competitors to ParcelLab would say, well, we do similar stuff to ParcelLab, and we solve this problem with communication of a shipment, or we solve this problem with helping brands put a delivery promise on their website. That's actually not the problem that we see. The problem that we see and the problem that we're trying to solve is, how do you brand, you retailer, create an experience with your customer that turns that customer into a customer for life, and ultimately optimizes, not maximizes necessarily, although in many cases, but optimizes that customer's lifetime value with you. And lifetime value is best achieved when that customer sticks with you for their life. And so we see the problem quite differently than some of the other companies in our space. And for us, it's all about that idea of, if you can really understand what your customer's doing throughout their journey with you, if you can use that understanding to change that experience, to more personalize it, to drive more and more engagement, and you can just do this over and over again. This is what we internally call the ParcelLab data flywheel. That is what's going to allow you to not just meet customer expectations and of course help them convert, but also to create what we call these golden moments where a customer is really understood. And when you create that moment, we've all had them to various degrees, either golden moments or like terrible moments. We all remember terrible moments where like, we're never gonna shop there again, we're never gonna do business with that. But you also have those golden moments, which are even more impactful, where it's, this brand went above and beyond. This brand really understood what I needed, and they treated me right. And our idea is, like, how do we help brands create more and more of those? Because that ultimately builds loyalty and ultimately creates those customers for life. So we just look at the problem, I think, quite different than, did we help a brand send an accurate email? Did we help give them a promise on their website that converts? Because those are enterprise SaaS problems. Those aren't like big strategy problems. And I'm most excited, and we were celebrating this as a company last week. One of our largest customers, and this is all public, just went through probably the most important strategic rebrand, relaunch, whatever you want to call it, of its kind in the last decade. And we were their right hand in doing this.
That's fantastic.
Right? And that's really important work. That's not enterprise SaaS work. That is like strategic partner work focused on that. How do I build a customer for life? How do I create moments that are really special for my customers? So that's how I got to ParcelLab and where we're focused and working as ParcelLab.
That's fantastic. And it's been awesome working with you guys. You guys have an incredible team and a great product.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where, like, when I saw the product, I was like, all right, this is who I want to partner with, because you guys, I'm looking and craving kind of the same strategic plays where, I mean, my biggest thing, I say it all the time, is like, how can we find the biggest brands with the biggest problems for us to solve? Yeah. And that's essentially what you guys do all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So. And we attack it in a very complementary and it's fun when we can do it jointly and do it together. But that's just so much more fun than let me just try to create a piece of tech that does it all by itself, and it's a small problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me what your morning routine is like.
Oh, that's a good one. I wake up very early. I'm a morning person. Although
how early?
I usually do 5-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not super early.
No, that's
I
early.
actually love when I wake up earlier.
Yeah.
So I don't need to set an alarm clock. I hardly ever do.
That's wild.
So I'll wake up about 5:30, 5 maybe, sometimes 4:30. And if I wake up at 4:30, usually my wife is like, go back to sleep, go back to sleep. But I love it. If I'm awake, I'm like, I'm getting up. Yeah. And at this point, she doesn't fight me anymore. I grab about a half a cup of coffee and then I go on a run. Because I know that is a time of day that I can control. And even that time, as you guys know, sometimes with customers and a global workforce and global brands, even that time sometimes is jeopardized. But that's what I do. I go on a run.
Good.
Sometimes it's a long one, sometimes it's a short one, depends on what the day is. And then shower and get to work. Work starts pretty early because we got a lot of European customers and a lot of European employees. Yeah. But I like that because I'm a morning person.
I like what you mentioned though. That's where I do the same thing. I wake up early. I go to the gym. I don't go on a run right away, but it's like there is some walking or running involved. But it is the only time, because I've got young kids that wake up early. It's the only time that I have to myself. And then, to your point, it's like you start getting right into, whether stuff got pushed from yesterday and you're like, cool, 7 o'clock rolls around. It's like, I want to be, diving in when the rest of, with a global workforce, it becomes difficult. Yeah. Because even like people on the East Coast, for me, it's like, okay, their 9 o'clock's my 7 o'clock. And so I've got to be on, like, ready, sharp. But that's usually my focus time. Is that kind of the same for you, where it's like you have kind of a lot of time where you can kind of have like more focused work, or is it like, hey, I'm already on meetings with the team, I'm chatting with customers?
I'm if my first meeting starts at 7, that might be a late day. Yeah. So it's that 2 hours before 7, and sometimes it's 6:30, or sometimes it's, hey, we can't find another meeting slot, and I'm always the guy who will say, all right, we'll do the meeting. Maybe we'll do the meeting at 5 a.m. my time, because you guys are in Europe, and I don't want you to screw up the rest of your calendar, and you got a customer meeting or you have a team meeting. I'm not going to get you to rearrange all that stuff, right? So I can rearrange this. I'll do that first call at 5, right, and then do my run at 5:30. Something like that. But they're on and cranking.
Just flexibility, man. Yeah.
So and if I can not be the bottleneck and actually create flow faster, that's good. But what that also means is that I end up doing a lot of my sort of focus and thinking time in the afternoon, right, when Europe's calmed down, and especially starting around like 4 o'clock or so Eastern time. right, things are starting to calm down. The East Coast, where we have a lot of customers, is also starting to wind down. People are tidying up for the day. So then I can think about and prepare for what's going to happen the next
awesome.
morning.
Yeah. What's your most memorable experience so far in your career?
Ooh, in my career,
maybe take ParcelLab and then we can widen the scope a little bit.
So ParcelLab, we just, and look, there's a recency bias here. A couple of months ago, we had our summer offsite, which is when we bring everyone in the company together.
Yeah.
And we spent a week together. And actually, you hear all these stories about the Italian villas that you can buy for $1 or something. So one of the things that is happening is people are buying whole villages. And in this case, they had turned that village into a kind of company retreat, right? So we had the entire space.
That's
right.
crazy.
And it was just awesome to be with just your employees, kind of in the middle of nowhere, almost like camping, for 5 days and 4 nights. And it sounds cliche, but we just had a lot of fun together. And I remember one night in particular where we were doing karaoke, and the employees are singing and the music's loud and everyone's dancing. It's late at night. It was just like really fun.
Yeah.
And so that was, I think, a highlight of one sort. The other one that I would say, again, recency bias, but I love these, is when I was talking with the crew last week about that big customer that I alluded to earlier, and the work we had done by their side and as a partner to support them. And what I told the crew is, this is really meaningful work, right? It's a massive brand, global brand, serving customers all over the world, and they are relying on us to be their right hand in doing the most important thing that they can do for their customers. I say that's real impact.
That's so cool.
And so when people need reminders of that sometimes of, this is actually why we're showing up to work every day and the impact that we're making. And so it was a special moment and a highlight for me to be able to just remind the 200 some odd ParcelLab crew members of, this is the type of awesome stuff that we're doing.
That's fantastic. Having those reminders is big.
Yeah.
It's big for everyone because you get so kind of entrenched in what you're doing either personally or with your team that when you can kind of bring everyone out together and kind of look at the holistic 30,000 foot view, then it gets a little bit more tangible for them, right? Because you are impacting global brands where there's millions and millions of customers purchasing from these brands, right?
Yeah.
There's a bigger footprint there. That's a cool experience.
Yeah, it was great. Previous to that, I don't know, when I was in the Air Force, this is probably a highlight. It's on I think we're on WhatsApp. You saw my WhatsApp picture, right? So I was in the Air Force. I was installing a satellite onto the space shuttle that was on the launch pad.
Probably the first time I've heard that.
Right? So I was putting it in the shuttle. The shuttle is on the launch pad, so I'm like crawling through the space shuttle. The problem is when you're young, you don't realize how cool these moments are. And so I was just like sort of taking it for granted. But now when I look back and I remember it, I was like, wow, that was a pretty cool moment.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's a major highlight. Yeah, first person I've ever heard doing that. That's crazy.
Good. Yeah.
Tell us what you were like growing up as a child. What was it like? South Carolina?
Yeah, I grew up in a small town in a bubble. The town that I grew up in, I would say sort of like making it in the town was getting out of the town.
Yeah.
Right. I mean that was sort of like the feeling I had growing up. Looking back, and kind of once I hit sort of 30s, I looked back and I said, oh wow, like actually that was an amazing place to grow up because we had great friends, we had great communities. It was a great school. It was very safe in terms of there wasn't a lot of trouble to get into. So I tried to get into as much as I could, and even then it wasn't much. Yeah, right, it was all like good fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, grew up in a small town, and my parents I think used sports as essentially daycare.
Yeah.
So we were just required to do sports constantly.
All the time? Yeah.
All the time. I would go, even as like a 5-year-old, I remember I would do 2 swim practices a day because we just got dropped off of the pool.
Yeah.
And there was a swim practice in the morning.
You're like, I can't even swim,
and
Dad.
there was like
He's
another
yeah.
swim practice in the afternoon. It was supposed to be like different age groups of kids, but we just did both of them. Like we just did both swim practices.
Just hanging out at the pool all day.
Yeah, because like the pool wasn't even open. So like, what are we gonna do? So yeah, we did a lot of sports.
So funny. How many siblings?
2.
2 siblings.
I have a twin sister and an older brother.
That's awesome. All same thing. Grew up swimming.
Yeah.
Doing a bunch of sports.
Everyone. I mean, you didn't have a choice.
That was kind of like your form of entertainment back in the day. It was like I just played sports. It was the same thing for me. I was like I just did every sport. I played soccer, basketball, baseball.
We were required to
lacrosse.
Like you weren't allowed to not do it. Like you had to find a sport.
Yeah, it was like what else are you gonna do? You just played sports. Like team sports was what it was.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, I ran track and cross country and so sort of team, but
and you're just out there for even longer than you can swim. You can go on 10-mile run and it's like great. He's taking care of himself.
Yeah,
that's awesome. What is one piece of advice that you would get someone looking to get into enterprise SaaS?
Oh, geez, this is an easy one. And I tell you, I did not understand this until later in life. I think, with that sort of science mindset, I always thought.
Yeah, what is the science behind enterprise SaaS?
Well, with this science mindset, I always kind of had this idea that maybe it wasn't applied to product, but you can see how it goes to product. Like the best argument should win, right? It should always be on its own merits. Like everything should be just looked at objectively, and the best product will win, the best argument will win, the best service will win, because of course we can look at this objectively and we can decide. That's not actually how the world works. And it's especially not how enterprise SaaS works. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get into enterprise SaaS, 100% recommend going to sales first. Go be an SDR, go work on the marketing team, go be a junior rep and shadow a senior rep. Like go work in sales, because you've got to get close to the customer, and the people that are oftentimes closest to the customer are sales, and they understand the pressure of the revenue. And probably the corollary to that, and the second recommendation is go work on the customer success team, right? The implementations, the day-to-day sort of I'm working with our customers on their programs live. I'm standing them up. I understand how they're doing things and what their challenges are.
I love that. That's fantastic. I started my career actually as a customer success manager.
Yeah.
And that was at a very fast-growing company, Route, who we now compete with. But I mean, I think that's very sound advice, because I would give the same. Mm-hmm. Sales or customer success, where you're hearing the problem that's being solved or not being solved every single day.
Yep.
And you're just like, okay, get creative about how you solve those problems.
Yeah. And you feel you understand the customer's priorities, and you feel the pressure. Yeah. Right? Because they're coming to you.
Yeah.
Right?
It's either, I'm not going to sign this deal and go with you guys.
Yep.
Or it's, I'm going to install, I'm going to churn.
Yeah.
Right? As a customer, it's like, and you're like, oh, okay, I feel this pressure to retain this customer or close this new business, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
There's pressure there, for sure. I love that. I need to tell my engineering and product team, go sell a deal.
I mean, we very consciously bring product into customer conversations.
Yeah.
Because you can't be, I mean, it's like anything. You can't be like 3 layers behind and not feeling the pressure. Yeah. So even if it's just playing a recording of a gong call, or if it's, hey, actually come join this conversation and hear what the customer's saying our competitors can do. Yeah. Or saying that they want and that we promised and we didn't build, right? Come join that conversation.
Get thrown in.
Yeah, misery loves company.
That's right. That's right. Well, that concludes segment number 1 of Out of the Box.
Awesome.
That was great. We're going to jump into number 2. It's called Rapid Fire. Would you rather?
Okay.
New segment, another new segment. So I'm going to ask a series of would you rather questions.
Would you rather eat a baby goat or a matter baby?
A matter baby?
Yeah.
What's the matter, baby?
Nothing, sugar. What's the matter with you?
And then you, the guest, are going to answer and explain why you chose your answer.
Explanation as well, huh?
Yeah, yep. Would you rather the aliens that first make contacts be robots or some kind of organic creatures? Being a physicist.
Yeah.
Cool point of view.
I think organic. Here's the reasons why. I think if they're organic, they've probably already studied us enough, and they hopefully are coming in peace, and they're actually confident enough that this is going to be peaceful that they're willing to show up themselves.
Yeah. That's a good reason why.
I mean, they could, I guess, probably kill us with the robots anyway. But I think there's something. I mean, it's just like doing this, right?
Yeah.
We could do this over Zoom; it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot to showing up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
come on down. Come meet us on our home turf.
Show up, aliens.
Yeah. That's right.
And we're gonna learn something about you too.
They've been playing this peekaboo stuff for too long.
No. Get out of the shadows. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Number 2, would you rather lose the ability to read or the ability to speak?
Ooh.
That's tough.
I don't know. Audio books and stuff are pretty good these days.
They are. Love a good narration.
I think, and I'm an introvert, but I think I'd lose the read ability because I can listen to it and I can have conversations
and learn.
I can pick a lot of that up. Yeah.
I'd agree on that too. I like that. Would you rather have one get out of jail free card, or a key that opens any door?
Key to open any door.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, you're not going to jail. You're not going to jail. You're a stand-up guy.
Just a key to open any door. I can get out of jail anyway.
Door. That is true. That's true. I don't know if we thought about that. Smart guy.
Yeah.
I do love that, actually. Would you rather know the history of every object you touch or be able to talk to animals?
Talk to animals.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, what am I going to touch? I don't need to know
What's
the history.
the history? Cool.
Now, if it was people,
ooh,
tell me what objects are. Because if it was people,
like
I'd probably
telepathy. Yeah.
Well, you know, like in these series where it's like, I don't know, it's like the Marvel series or something. There's some superhero character where they touch you and then they can like see their whole life. Like that would be pretty cool. I would rather do that.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I love animals, but I don't know.
You want your like dog talking to you? Like he comes up, he's like, "Hey."
I don't think he's got much to say.
Speak. Hi there, squirrel.
Would you rather have all the traffic lights that you approach turn green or never have to stand in a line again?
Never have to stand in line. I don't drive very much.
Yeah.
I hate lines.
Lines are tough. I know. I'll see a line to like a good restaurant. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, me either.
They're like, yeah, it's going to be like a 45-minute wait. And I'm like, there's another restaurant around the corner.
Yep.
I'll go eat there.
Lines. Yep, don't like them.
Okay, lines.
Time is really valuable.
Yeah.
I mean, the traffic light thing, I guess, that's time too. But I just don't drive that much.
Yeah.
I try to walk.
Good for you, man. Ride bikes?
Yeah, bikes.
South Carolina, good for riding bikes?
Nope, really bad. Yep.
So walking.
Walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of pass.
Yeah.
That's great. Would you rather spend the rest of your life with a sailboat as your home or an RV as your home?
Sailboat, 100%.
Yeah.
I love the water.
You're a Harvard guy.
Well,
I feel like you're a sailor. It's part of the trade.
I grew up in South Carolina. I got Charleston.
Yeah. You have a sailboat, there. Don't you?
No.
You're part of
I
a
do
club.
A boat club.
Yeah, you're part of a club.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't own it. Those are bad investments.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Would you rather go back to the age of 5 with everything you know now, or everything your future self will learn starting now? My mind goes immediately to Bitcoin as a 5-year-old. I just, nudge my old man, say, hey.
You got to tell me how long am I going to last, right? Because if
What's your age now?
I'm 44.
Okay, let's say 84.
40 more years, then the problem is I don't think you have a lot of you don't have a lot of really intelligent thoughts when you're young, right?
Yeah.
now I can look back and sort of assess things like markets and stuff like that and say, that would have been a good time to do something. But I think, I'm just a much more thoughtful person post kind of 25 than I was pre-25. And so I'm thinking I got 20 years now that I could, 20 years of knowledge, or I got 40 years. I'm going to take the 40 years.
Okay. Future.
Yeah.
Future 40. Give it to yourself.
Just know that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is also, that's perhaps a virtuous circle, because what about the new stuff I learned because I have that knowledge and now I'm going to learn new stuff. Yeah. So do I get all that? It's compounding knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah. We're overthinking it now.
Yeah.
Over-engineering. Next, would you rather be forced to dance every second you heard music or forced to sing along to any song you heard?
Dance.
Dancing or singing?
I would dance. Yeah. Because I don't mind dancing.
Are you light on your feet?
I mean, I like to, I try to just be generally happy.
Yeah.
And dancing is kind of a happy thing.
It is a happy
I'm not
thing.
a great singer.
Yeah.
But I enjoy dancing.
It's too bad. Our last segment on the last show, we were singing songs.
Oh.
So
we don't know what the
it's a
last
good thing.
segment.
Yeah. We could be.
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather have the ability to teleport or be invisible?
Teleport.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I already feel invisible.
Standing
so.
in lines.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You feel invisible.
We just passed over that. I was like, he didn't get the joke. No, it's good. It's fine.
Yeah.
Teleportation would be awesome.
Yeah. Where
would you
cooler.
teleport if you could teleport anywhere right now? Besides
I like
out
being
of this
here.
room.
Yeah, I'd probably go see. My wife is actually doing some work right now in Connecticut, so it's not that far away. And she was thinking maybe actually she was going to fly into Hartford, but then her flight got canceled. She's like, maybe I can just come and see you real quick last night, but then the flights got all screwed up. So I'd probably just go teleport to her real quick and say hi before we do this dinner later tonight.
That's awesome. How long have you been married?
We just celebrated our 10-year.
That's awesome.
We had a big celebration. We had a really small wedding. We wanted to do it our own way. It was only 29 people. And so then we did a big vow renewal, which was...
Where was this?
It was in Spoleto, Italy.
Where is that? Oh, in Italy?
Spoleto, Italy. Yeah, we rented this.
I feel like, were you just there? Because I called you or texted you, you were like, hey, I'm out in Italy. I think you told me about, you told me about this experience.
It was just this summer. So we rented this massive villa, which you can do this stuff in Italy because the prices are just so much cheaper. But we rented this massive villa and had 60 people come and spent 4 days and 3 nights just
dancing.
Yeah, just having a great time and celebrating, and it was so much fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So 10 years.
Congrats, man. That's
Thanks.
cool.
You? How long?
6.5, almost 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I got married young, 23.
Well, you got 3.5 years to plan the 10-year.
That's right. Maybe Italy, if prices are still cheap.
They will be. They just don't change that much.
No, yeah. Okay, 2 truths and a lie, segment number 3.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
One player, 2 truths and a lie. We don't have to describe the rules. Okay, so there's going to be 3.
I'm guessing, right? I guess the lie.
So I'll say, is that?
There's 3 different categories.
Okay.
Each player will have 3 turns in 3 different categories.
Great. Okay, cool. Category 1, personal life. 2 truths and a lie.
I say the first thing. Okay.
You make up.
2 truths and a lie. I already told you a lot about me.
Makes it easier on me.
2 truths and a lie. Okay. Truth. I shouldn't say which ones they are.
Just announce it beforehand.
Yeah.
Now you guys switch it up. This one's tough, actually.
All right. My brother is a C-17 pilot. You know what C-17s are?
No.
Big cargo.
Okay.
My sister works for Google, and my mom was a concert pianist.
The lie is your sister works for Google.
Nope. My brother is a F-15 pilot.
Oh,
Not C-17.
that's even cooler.
Yeah.
F-15s are wild. Is that that's the primary one that they use today, right? There's the F-15, there's the F-22.
Yeah. He actually just got out of the Air Force recently. So now he's a Delta pilot. But he was he was
So that's a lie.
Yeah.
That's great. Either way, it's a lie. So,
Either way, it's a lie.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Delta's our airline of choice, always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
They're great. We're sold on them. Mitch is laughing, dude. He's like, why is this guy bringing this up? Okay, mine, personal life. I have a dog named Beethoven.
Okay.
I've got 3 kids. I tore my ACL playing basketball.
I feel like the kids, I think you got a different number of kids.
So I've got 2 kids and 1 on the way. So technically 3. Okay. So it's the truth.
Okay. All right. Dog?
That one was so close. The dog, yeah.
What's the dog's name?
Griffey.
I knew you had a dog.
Yeah. Griffey.
Kind of 2 lies, bro.
No, 3, dude. 3 kids, bro. I got 3. It still counts. Okay, career. Category number 2, career. 2 truths and a lie.
Okay. Career. I'm gonna go way to early career, like early childhood career. I spent my summers working as a camp counselor. I was a bellman at a restaurant. I don't know if you call it bellman anymore, but I basically took the coats. I worked you had the valet and you had the coat
bellhop?
room.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. I took the coats.
Yeah. The coat taker.
Yeah, I took the coats in the winter. Like, so you have this like random 6 weeks off. Like, I don't know why they do the school schedule. Basically, January you don't have any class, and classes don't start until mid-February. So I sat around, not going to do nothing. So I got a job. Guess what? There's a lot of coats in the winter, and everyone tips $5. So I was a
That's great.
coat guy at Upstairs on the Square, which is a nice little restaurant.
Yeah.
In Cambridge, Mass. The last one, during the 2008 crash, was working in a building right over there on a big insurance project. And as you can imagine, the nature of our project changed really, really quickly because the financial crash happened.
I can see some trauma in your eyes.
Yeah.
That's for sure truth.
All right, so you had 2 others.
Okay, so that's the truth. The taking of the coats, the coat taker is the truth as well.
Okay.
Actually, wait a second. Does it even get cold in South
In
Carolina?
Cambridge, Massachusetts?
Oh, you're in Massachusetts. I was thinking South Carolina.
No, it does a little bit.
Okay, so those are the 2 truths. The middle one's the lie.
Okay. No, the camp one.
Oh,
The first one was the camp.
The first one, the camp counselor one. That one's a lie.
Nope.
Really?
I was a camp counselor at a place called Cove Camp in
Okay.
Asheville, North Carolina, 3 summers before I went to school. I was the valet at the restaurant. And by the way, I was
The coat thing, dude. I was going into that because you're like, yeah.
Well,
so what is it?
So I was
What
putting
is it
myself
called?
in
And I
his
was like,
shoes. I don't even know what it was called.
Yeah.
But I was the valet. So I
I just
did
went
it.
down that path with you.
I did
was
the
like, this
car
guy's.
valet.
I just pictured you taking people's coats. I was like, man, this is believable.
I mean, I took their cars instead.
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Actually, he
Coat
was warmer.
car. Yeah.
I was less warm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Valet's cool. Any cool cars?
I mean, it's Boston.
Massachusetts, yeah, I was gonna say.
There's not, no.
No.
It wasn't like a pull your Lamborghini up
Yeah, yeah.
restaurant. It
Yeah.
was a nice place.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Okay. 2 truths and a lie. I worked on a private golf course driving the cart to pick up golf balls.
Yeah.
I was a delivery driver for Jimmy John's in college. Freaky fast delivery
Yep.
that I got fired from. I was studying data science at the University of Utah and completed my 4-year degree.
I definitely think the golf one. That's
Okay.
the truth.
That's the truth.
I can see the Jimmy. I think there's something. I think there's something with the University of Utah thing. Like you either didn't study data science, or I think you might have transferred. Did you transfer?
I dropped out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the lie. Yeah.
That's the one. But yeah, I got fired from Jimmy John's. Only job I got fired from.
What did you do?
It was the end of the semester.
weren't
They give
fast
you
enough?
3. Yeah, it was actually my speed. My 40-yard dash time was subpar, so they cut me. No, it was they have a 3-strike rule, at least at the location I was at. And my boss was like this 5-foot gal, and she was just tough, man. She ran that thing like the military maybe. And she was like, you couldn't have any. So this is my classic sock here, the Nike sock.
Yeah.
Nike tube sock. Been wearing it for my whole life. She's like, you can't wear socks with any logos on them. That was my first strike. I was like, dude, I don't have any other socks. I'm gonna have. She's like, I can roll down the logo. She's like, no, it's not good enough. So I was like, okay,
She
one
saw
strike.
your socks?
2 was, I had someone that was supposed to cover my shift because I was going out of town to like visit some girl.
Yeah.
I think he didn't show up, so it was on me. And then the third one was, I was like, hey, I can't work this Friday shift. I just moved out of my apartment. I'm going back home for the summer on a Thursday. And I was like, I can't get anyone. I've called everyone. No one can cover my shift on Friday. And they're like, I was like, hey, can I come back after, summer? They're like, no, don't come back. I was like, all right. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's probably another Jimmy John's.
Yeah, the only one in that town, actually.
Oh.
Small college
What was
town.
your favorite sandwich?
The Beach Club, number
Okay.
12.
All right,
Yeah.
I gotta try that. I
Yeah.
love the Pepe.
The Italian nightclub, too, number 9. That was good.
Okay. I'm a Pepe guy.
Pepe guy.
I mean, it's easy. It's number 1.
Yeah.
It's fast.
Freaky
Tastes good.
fast.
Yeah.
Someone's
Tastes
delivered.
good.
You're a runner, dude. You could have been
Do you
cream of the crop there.
like run?
I was sprinting.
I thought you put this in a.
No, I was sprinting.
Car or bike
no,
or-
so I'm driving. I'm throwing my car and park, and then I would deliver to professors on campus. I was sprinting across campus, which is Jimmy John's,
You had the
sometimes a
bag?
drink, in a bag, and then just making it out there. And they'd always be like, whoa, that was so fast. I was like, yeah, it's freaky fast.
Did
And
you
they
get a
would leave
tip?
me like a $1 tip, yeah. But it was like, I went to a BYU school,
Yeah.
and you have professors that, I'll just say it, Mormons are pretty cheap when it
Yeah.
comes to that stuff, myself included. And yeah, $1 tip, dude. I was like, delivering to professors were like, yeah, here's $1. I was like, at the time, the dollar went a long ways.
Wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, in Rexburg, Idaho, it was great. It was
Okay.
great. It was cheap.
Yeah.
Anyways, Harvard of the West, BYU, Idaho.
Really?
Yeah,
I hadn't heard that. Bet they make T-shirts.
that's right. Okay, category number 3, hobbies.
Okay, hobbies.
Haven't heard that.
So some of these things, you already know some of this stuff, right? So I've done 7 Ironmans.
It's going to be a higher number. That's bragging. I already know, dude. That's the lie. You've probably done like 13 or 14.
7
Because you're
fools.
going to be like, it's
7
actually
fools.
21.
Yeah, that's how you set these up, right? Yeah, 7D. 7D.
Yeah, I left off the 0. Yeah.
Last year I got into rock climbing because I realized that I needed to do something that was more muscular other than just running and swimming.
So you chose just a wall, just getting up on the wall, as opposed to just hitting some weights or something.
Well, I'm not a big weight guy. I don't know.
You just like moving. You like
Yeah.
just, yeah.
And then the second thing I picked up actually is surfing.
Oh, wow.
Terrible at it. Not good.
But fun.
It's
It's a good mix,
It's-
though.
it's a good-
It's a good mix of
and it's
swimming
core.
and,
It's
and core.
Yeah, which rock
Popping
climbing is
up.
too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the Ironman thing. It's not 7.
It is 7. It's the rock climbing thing. I
the rock
don't
climbing.
I mean,
Thank God, dude.
I do it every once in a
Thank
while,
God.
but
When you said that, I was like, ugh,
my buddy
that's too bad.
tries to take me on the things, and he
Same buddy that you're going to go running with
no
in Colorado?
different
Okay.
guy.
Different buddy.
This dude, he was an Air Force buddy. He always goes to the rock climbing gym.
Like, hey,
and
let's
he
go
tries
hit
to
this.
take me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, it's okay, but
And you're getting those little ballerina shoes, and they're way too small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's high.
Yeah.
You get pretty
Yeah.
far up there.
Yeah.
And you're on a line, but it's
You're
still
scared of
scary.
heights.
It's still scary. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm scared of heights, but it's a little scary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like rock climbing. It's big in Utah. Everyone's like, dude, let's go like climbing this Saturday. I'm just like up the canyon, like on the face of a rock. I was like, what happens if something goes wrong?
It's not good.
It's not good.
No.
It's scary. Okay, hobbies for me. I love to read. I can't even say that with a straight face.
You gotta start over.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Let's start over on that.
You already said you'd give up reading, so I was.
I know.
clued
We
in on
talked about that. I was like,
yeah.
man, I can't do it. Hobbies, man, I've given up so many of them. You know, with kids and running business.
Well, that's a new hobby.
See, that's tough. I haven't picked up any new hobbies recently. I love basketball. I don't play any video games, and I used to a lot more. And then I go on like long walks. Like I'll just go walk somewhere.
Yeah.
Just to like have time to think, walk to some destination. I like to walk to the gas station by my house, just get a drink, walk back.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. I don't think you do that. I don't think there's a gas station near your house.
No, that's true, dude. That's the truth. There's 2 gas stations near my house,
And you walk to
and
them?
I walk to them. Yeah.
What's the lot? You play video games still?
So I just picked up video games recently.
Okay. How's that
So,
going?
Honestly,
When do you play them? Like at
I play
2
with these.
a.m.?
I play with these guys. It's always late. It's like
Yeah.
10 o'clock, and I'll play for like 30, 45 minutes, and then I go to sleep
Yeah. What do you play?
because I wake up early. Just Call of Duty. Just
Okay.
supporting our troops.
Do you have the whole gear? You got like the
Yeah,
set?
I got the headset now.
Do they have a power glove like version of this?
I wish,
you,
man.
like,
That sounds
punch people?
awesome. That sounds so cool. No, it's I've got the full headset. So my wife, when we got married, I was like so not interested in video games. Never played them.
Yeah.
And then just recently, now that all I do is work and take care of the kids and like do house stuff, it's like the one time I get to jump on and like talk to some of my buddies that I don't work with.
Huh.
And so I'll just get on and talk to them for a little bit, and we typically would just be like, this is now what we do as, I'm 30 years old now, and I've got other buddies kind of similar age or mid-30s, and so you just get on and play video games for like a little bit, and it's just to like talk basically, and not talk about like work stuff as much. So what was the first thing I said
I was
again?
reading,
Basketball.
yeah, basketball.
Oh yeah,
I need
that's,
to play
yeah,
basketball.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't play basketball anymore.
You used to?
I used to, yeah, a lot, yeah. I play like once a week
I
now.
was reading, I can't remember which book it was. It must have been the Musk biography, and he was talking so much about, he plays a lot of video games.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about a lot about like he seems like he learns or it influences his strategic thinking, right? Like he actually takes some of the lessons and tactics from video games, and he's like, oh, like I should be as aggressive or as creative in my thinking and business strategy as I am in the games. So I was thinking, I was like, maybe I should play some video games. Like maybe I'll get some new ideas.
What would you play if you had to?
I don't know.
It's been so long.
He plays,
I bet.
like,
Since you picked up.
he plays like pretty sci-fi RPGs. I think,
Yeah.
right? Not Call of Duty.
No.
He's playing, I don't know, is like Zelda 25 out or something like that. He's like Zelda 25, I think. But I don't know. Like maybe I should play. I haven't played
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
I bought, we don't have kids, but we have a lot of friends with kids, and we have there are rooms in our house that are just designed for kids. So they'll come over. So I bought like a game system.
Yeah.
And I played it for about 3 minutes just to make sure it works, and then I was bored with it. I was like, all right, it's done.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So now you know. Go over to your house if you want to play some games because you're not playing them.
But I don't have like I don't have like the set, and I just have like the basic. I got
That's
the
how
one
I
that
am.
you can
Mine's
just
basic.
plug into the USB
Yeah.
or the HDMI port, and you have controllers.
I literally actually don't even have my own equipment. I'm using my VP of engineering. He had like an Xbox. He was like, "Oh yeah, I just came on the PC now. You can just borrow this."
Yeah.
And I've been like infinitely borrowing his Xbox. The headset came from my younger brother, who's a big gamer, and then it's his controller too.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I just been borrowing people's stuff. I just got into it.
He should
recently.
get order protection for that.
That's right.
If he doesn't get that back,
That's right, dude. Just come knocking on my door.
$2 and no
That's
questions
right.
asked.
That's right.
He should have got that.
Well, Giles, thanks for jumping on. That concludes
was
segment
awesome.
number 3. Yeah, we had a great time.
It was really fun.
At least I did. I can't speak for you.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, great.
And I learned some stuff.
Good, man. So you've got 3 cameras on you. 4,
see that.
actually. What is your message to the world?
Oh, you didn't script this at all.
That's right.
Unprepared.
Johnny on the spot.
I'll give 2. So the one, I was on vacation with 11 good friends.
How many friends does this guy have? Sheesh.
Well, we do this
is
trip
awesome.
almost every year, and we it sounds fancier than it is, but we go on a boat for like a week.
Okay.
And it's a great time because these
Like
are all.
this is like a river boat in Missouri, and you guys are gambling,
No,
or
this year we went
kind of
out
boat?
to Turkey, and it was a really big boat, and we're all on the boat the whole time.
yeah,
And it's a great group because everyone is kind of between 30 and I think 50, and everyone's a professional and working, and everyone's going through like the ups and downs of professional life and family life. And,
yeah,
like just life.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's experiencing life, and it's a really great time to have like 12 people talking, and we actually like really format this stuff.
Yeah.
And talk a lot.
Yeah.
And share. And coming out of that and just reflecting on the things that like really get me up is I just love to see when folks realize their potential, right? And that's something I'm excited about in ParcelLab, with the potential I see with ParcelLab. But it's something I'm just excited about for every individual, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited about it for your business,
Yeah.
but I'm excited about it for you, right?
Yeah.
And for you and for you. And so
That's awesome.
Like that's just the thing that I get super energized about, is when people and businesses and companies and nonprofits and causes and folks can realize their potential. So
that's super cool.
that's message number 1. Message number 2 is, if you want to improve your post-purchase experience,
That's right. You know who to call.
call me at ParcelLab.
You just leave your phone number.
Yeah, I'll give you my number if you're going to call.
That's awesome. Giles, thanks for coming on.
Great stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.